put the door back in its framework, but it wouldn't go because it was slightly too thick. So what I've done is I've just used my Dremel tool thing with a sandpaper bit on the end, and I've just sanded down the outer edge on the three sides about less than a millimetre maybe, just 7 millimetres, which is the thickness of the frame, just so it can slot over it. So I've just tested it on it, it'll fit nice and snug. So now I'm just going to put some of the non-setting in it. So what I've done is I've put a bead across the front corner edge and then a bead on the inner edge, just so that it's going to put the water proofness around the join of the aluminium, and then just on the side itself. On the inside it shouldn't really matter because it shouldn't be getting wet, should it? So now I just need to get the door centralised. So that's the outer edge on it. For some reason the frame's lower there. I'm not sure why. Anyway, we've got a barn door rubber seal, which I picked up locally, the only place I could find them. I might wait until the door's back in its frame to put it on. There we go. Bottom half of the door finished. Same thing on the top door. Just around the bottom edge, or top edge, I should say. Just shade a bit off there. The rest of it was fine. 2 beads of adhesive again. we go, top section finished. Just need to get it back in the frame and then put the lock on that in. So I'm just going to put the new rubber trim on the door sections. I've already done the bottom, so I'm now going to do the top section. See if I can show you in this section here. So what I did on the bottom section is I've got an old scraper, quite blunt. So if I leave a little bit out, but on the metal here, you can see a couple of little indents where they've crimped it, so it's quite hard to get it in the start. So what you need to try and do is push the back of the trim to the door, and then on the other side of the trim you just need to push it in with the scraper. Now with it being blunt, it doesn't actually cut the trim itself, and then you just need to work the trim, push a section of the back in, and then push the front section in, and then you'll be able to see if it's all in, like so. And you'll see that on the back, it meets up quite well with the edge of the trim here, so you'll know, you can kind of see if it's not in properly, it'll bulge out a bit when you're looking down the side. So again, push a couple of inches so the back is against the frame on the inside of the slot, and then just push your scraper in, and then that folds the front section in. And then you can usually see that section's all in. Do a couple more. If you push it as well, then you'll know it's bedded home. And do a couple more. A couple more inches.
It's actually quite easy to swivel.
Compared to if you watched my window rubber seal, it was a lot more work. And when you get to the corner, you just need to push a little bit in at a time. can see still a little bit poking up. Just push the corner of the scraper or whatever blunt thin tool you are using. And it goes in. I'll put a link in the description from where I got the rubber seal from. It's not on both sections of the doors, they had different profiles of the seal, but I put a post on the retro group I'm in and people said this one, which it makes more sense than what the other seal was, because it was quite flat, whereas this is more of a bulb. I don't know how you would describe it, and I couldn't find the other one, whereas this one was under a caravan door seal. I've also got the seal to put at the top of the bottom door, the barn door split seal, which is very hard to find, but luckily there's a shop locally that had it, but it was probably double the price of this one. Although I don't know how to attach it yet. Now we see what I mean here? It's got a bit of a bulb. And if you look underneath the rubber, it's not enough. That's how you can tell if you've got it in properly. I'm going to take that bit out, push it back in again. Going on. Doesn't want to go in. There we go. It's in.
For some reason it's quite processed. On the last order I ordered all the Heron seals, this door seal, and the internal door frame seal as well, just because I think that was all the rubber seals I was going to need. And rather than paying less postage, I thought I would bulk buy. And if you was to use something sharp, you'd obviously have more chance of cutting the seal when you tuck it in. But I don't know how this is now, I broke it when I was doing trims inside. Hard to see when you're revision. Again, when you say the bump, you look underneath, it's not in. Push it in, no bump, so you can tell. That's it again, it's been crimped, so it's a bit harder to get in on the end.
Right, then underneath, let's see if you can see. You can see down there. I have to try and uncrimp it. Uncrimp this one a little bit, although I have just snapped the crimp. But it should be alright. Right, then you just need to cut the excess off. There we go. Obviously you've got the door lock to go in here, and also the retainer catch on the top. I'm not going to do them till I know I've 100% finished painting, because by the time I actually get around to doing stuff, most likely it's going to get scratched. So what I'm doing in a minute is I am trying to get all of the Caravan watertight so I can take the cover off, so I can paint the roof and then work my way back down the sides, because there's a few more extra dints that have now appeared, and try and get the painting and all the seals, sealant, and then all the trims on, so that I can then go and finish and start the stuff on the inside. So when it comes to the door, the old hinges, the pins were really rusted. The screws were hanging out on some of them, and just generally not very smooth. In one of the hinges I couldn't even get apart to service it, so I had to burn it out, and then the insert that it was in melted. So in the end I've managed to pick up some new hinge plates. Only this side though, you can't get the door side, which are alright, but they've got new pins, new sleeves, new caps. So what I've had to do is I need to transfer over the screw holes to the blank ones. So I've just measured them in. They're different sizes, the two end ones are the same, the centre one's slightly smaller. So I just need to drill them out. So you just find your centre mark. Like so. That's the outer two. And you've got the smaller middle. And then on the other side, see, that's the side that actually go against the door frame. This side is the side that you're actually going to see, because that's the way they get fitted. So I'm just drilling them with a slightly bigger drill bit, just to give it a bit of a countersink. You don't want to go too deep though. And there you have it. New hinges. I've already done the other three. And then that replaces the old bent, rusty, seized hinges. I don't know if you can see in there, but it was quite used. So they're the old ones. Now I'm just putting the hinges of the frame on. I've got two, I don't know, 40mm screws for top and bottom, and then maybe a 25mm for the centre. They're all stainless steel. So, top, bottom. Centre, like so. Now I think originally they're riveted, but these are stainless steel. Hopefully they're going to be strong enough. If not, I'll have to try riveting them at some point. But I'm hoping these will be alright. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of the non-setting sealant just across the holes, just so that it seals it, because I don't want to get any water going through into my framework. The hinge has got a straight edge which butts up to the frame itself. Head screw, but I might wait till the door's on itself just to see if I've got enough clearance, just as hole either side there that I didn't see before. Sealant across the holes. Again, just a tiny bit across the holes. And the excess off the bottom of it. Go. That's the 4 outer hinges in place. So this is the bottom section. Now I did put a pan head in just to bring the frame in when we're sticking the frame to it. I'm going to use the same long screws as I've just used on the outer hinge. Now these hinges are angled, and then that needs to sit in like that into the groove. And same again, I'm going to put a little bit of sealant. Can never be too safe, can you? Now these ones aren't, there's a couple that are nice condition, but a couple of them have got quite a lot of dents on, but I can't find them anywhere to get replacements. Just try and get that in without getting sealant all over the new seal. There we go. Same again. Bottom section. You can see what I mean with this hinge. Now I did sand these back a little bit to try and tidy up the corner there. A lot worse than that it was. The problem is with stainless steel ones, the heads round off way too easily, so you got to be really careful. That's the door frame, door leaf hinges on. The bottom door panel, I still haven't put the rubber on it because I thought I'd wait and see if the rubber would actually work on it rather than me sticking it and folding it in. So this is the first attempt of me putting it on the hinges. I've not done a dry run, so here we go. Just noticed, I'm not sure if one of those screws has just damaged the skin. It would mean it was bent when I put it in. The other ones are fine. That's it. Moment of truth. Guess what? It doesn't show. Why would that be? Now it's going to squish the rubber. Let's try the top section. There. Don't know what's going on. back to the door. Basically, I unscrewed a couple of the bolts on the frame, and then I put a screw in, and I put another hole in here, and then brought the frame further out. I also put some packers on the frame on this side and screwed through so that the frame was a bit more straighter in the middle. I also rehung the hinges on the door slightly so the door hung lower by about 5 to 10 mil. I've also had to peel back the top lip of the outer frame, outer skin. I dremeled the wood down so that the whole flat was lower down. When I cut the framework, I mustn't have done the right angle, so when it came to putting the frame on and the skin onto the frame, the angle wasn't right. So now the door shuts. On the inside though, the rubber doesn't touch on the hinge side for some reason. Also, I adjusted the top hinges as well, as it wasn't very close to the top of the frame. That's all I did to the top section. Just heightened it to give more space here. Obviously the rubber's going to be cut back. But apart from that, it meets nicely now in the centre. The only thing left now to do, which I can't do because I'm going to have to repaint that, is put on the barn door seal, which obviously goes on the bottom frame and then looks up like that. So I might leave that until I put on the hardware, just the finishing touches, which I'll do. But apart from that, that's the door rebuild done. Don't think there's anything else to say. Just adjusted the hinges, adjusted the frame, messed around with the join. Next job, I might put plastic over the sides and then go for the roof and try and get the painting done, because I want to seal across all the trims and then probably end up repainting most of it. Obviously that's going to get repainted. I've got the bottom of the door frame to be repainted and a couple of other dings here and there which have occurred, and then try and get it watertight, get the strip back in there, and then that's it done for the outside.